Man, we over here on the spot at the spot. Go like, comment, and subscribe, man. We got another great interview. You know what I'm saying? McGlover's over in Hawaii sticking his big toe somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. So we got Lonnie, man, from the live show, man. And then, man, you know, we got somebody I don't even know the right words. So we're gonna say this. We're gonna say we've got not just a storyteller, not just, you know, a woman, the head of the village, but when you hear her speak, you're gonna know she's talking from the heart. You know, to some, it's an introduction. To those in DC, you guys already know Mama Joe. You know, very much loved. You know, I called it. It took a lot to get her out here, and I had some real ones call me from DC to make sure that Mama Joe was going to be taken care of, and I assured them, and I gave my word that she was going to be taken care of. So once again, I'm going to, you know what I mean, introduce to some, and those that don't know her and stuff like that, peace and blessings once again, Miss Janice. We're going to leave X. We're just going to leave it Miss Janice X. That's the best way to do it. How you doing, my love?
I'm doing fine. It's always a pleasure to be back in the company with you. It was a great gift to meet you, a month, 2 months ago
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
One
Yes, ma'am.
Flag, and Amalik Farrakhan, Tyrone Parker, Tyrone Johnson. It was so many powerful, strong
Brother
black
Muhammad.
men. Our brother Muhammad, Eric Muhammad, who hosted. Our brother Juju and his partner is it Moses?
Moses, yeah, we just call him Monk. You know what I'm saying? The whole One Flag, Sonny, Velvet,
and,
you know what I'm saying? Saeed, man.
Yeah, I posted our picture and I said, one flag, one people.
Man, you know, if you guys are not familiar about the One Flag movement, these are brothers that's out of DC, that's going, feeding the community, making safe zones for these young brothers. Because if you guys don't know about the crime rate that's going on in DC, you know, it's live. So, you know, these is brothers that's putting their life, you know, they got families, they got kids, but they're putting their life on the line to make sure that our youth makes it to school all right. It makes it back home, and they're going into class and feeding them because, you know, how could you learn if you're hungry? Right. And then they're going and boxing up food and going knocking on doors and giving it. Not just, you know, I see all these clowns, here go a free turkey, here go a free turkey, but they're putting them in boxes and showing up in the community and giving it to them. So, you know, shouts out to the One Flag family, man, you know, based out of DC. And what we are an extension. We're One Flag West Coast, something that Juju put together. You know, my partner, Indian, you know what I'm saying, being from, you know what I mean, being from one side, being from South Central LA, me being from Inglewood. And what it is we're trying to make safe zones, cease fires, not just in LA, not just in Chicago, not just in Philly, not just in Seattle, not just in DC, not just in Portland. So we're trying to bring our people, our ancestors, those that have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding that we've lost because we're out of touch. You know what I'm saying? Just real talk. The disrespect that I see, because it's like, even, and I'm not going to talk too much because I know, man, you know, we got Mama Joe, but when I was coming up, you couldn't sell dope during the day. You know what I'm saying? Them old folks, once them old folks went to, you couldn't steal from those stores if it was a moms and pop stores. Kids was hungry, man. Kids was hungry, man. They came through the man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the dope, the gangbangers fed the community.
There was rules and regulations.
Yeah, man, come on, ice cream come through, man. All the kids gonna get ice cream. Mm-hmm. You didn't get no Christmas gift or something like that, man. They was gonna show up, man, and have a bike for you. So, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out, man, you know what I'm saying, to some of them older brothers that did look out for us in the community. And we're just trying to do the same thing and bridge the gap. But, man, you know, Mama Joe, man, just, you know, I would love for you to elaborate if you can kind of give some of the audience some of the things that you do in regards to the community to have that name, Mama Joe.
I run an organization in the District of Columbia called Parent Watch. it's a organization that I would say is an organization that has transformed systems to treat families and youth better.
If you don't mind, just come up a little
Treat
bit.
families and youth better. But I would say the most important movement is the village approach. And you said and called out some of the names in our connection when we met. We felt that deepness about what we really, really, really need to do. It's not just a call for you and me and all of the brothers that are in this space now. This conversation is a call to real action. It's a call that we're trying to connect and create a national model. And yes, I'm a sister to Matula Jakor. I'm a sister to Afeni. I'm a sister to Bilal. I'm a sister to Falani. And we can go on and on and on. But we have to rebirth more commitments that carry out a need assessments to save our children, to save our families, to embrace the Black mother. We got to find a better way and a better conversation to describe us, to get rid of this. All we hear is conversations of balance. All we hear is children got monitors on their ankles. It hurts me to hear people say that our mothers are this and our parents are that. No. We got to find a better language to talk about each other. We got to find a better way to elevate one another. And we got to find out that that's not our nature. And I hate to say it, but I got to say it. We got to realize there's something good about us. Because all these deficiencies they say we do have, and all these things they say we can't do, if someone could ask me or tell me why we babysit their kids, why we cook for them, why we're in their homes, and they trust us, who they say are violent, who say that we all these negative things. We can't read, we can't write, but we raise their children. If you see a nanny, it's generally 99% a Black woman pushing other colored children, other nationality of children. So what does that tell you? Is it something they know about us that we don't know about us? So I don't believe that we're killers. I do not believe that we're robbers. I don't believe any of that. I think it's a manifestation of multiple decades and years of systemic failure. And that's why we have to go back to the village approach. We talked about the Panther movement. We talked about the Black Boy Scouts. And look, hey, it ain't no color. It's what and who's going to do the right thing. It's never no color. We just looking for people that want to move in righteousness. We looking for people that want to help build new families and children. If we heal a parent, heal a child, we'll have stronger families. We can't do it without that holistic approach. So if we want to call it a movement or whatever you want to call it, all I'm saying to everyone, the call is the village approach. Let's help each other. Music industries, lawyers. We have more Black lawyers, more Black judges, more Black prosecutors. And I tell you, the only people I see in court is us. Is it another courtroom? I just want to know where they go. Because I know for a fact that everybody has lived experience. Everybody has issues and problems. But some people have resources. So it's covered up. Some people can pick the phone up. I'm in a facility that a white kid very seldom gets to get back in that back in the holding space, because either their parents there immediately or a family attorney is there immediately. Why? When we did the take them home, don't lock them up, and we had a caravan that followed, our kids are sitting on the corner on the sidewalk handcuffed. And the officers give the white kids the phone to call their parents. That's why their parents are there before the police car get there. If we want to keep it real. Village approach, hair salons, restaurants, churches, ministers. I don't mean no harm. I pray too, but get up off your knees. And praying ain't nothing if the holy hands ain't moving and doing nothing. I ain't talking against no faith, because I believe in the higher person, which is God. I believe in the higher person. But we got to stop talking about children, parents, and families the way we are and find a way to save lives. We got to find a way. And they might call the Panther this and all of that, but I know this much. They fed the kids. They had after-school programs. And on and on and on and on.
Mama Joe, I got a question. Do you think they're trying to rewrite the history of the Panther? Because this generation, when I was growing up, when we heard Panthers, we knew, okay, you talking about the Black Panthers. This generation, and I got in trouble for that. They would say Panther, they say Wakanda. And I'm looking at them like, what the hell is you talking about? So do you think that they're trying to change that narrative?
Of course they're trying to change the narrative. I mean, all our narratives are always being changed, and the only thing that sustains us is our true history. And no matter how much they try to kill us, we still live. There's always a rebirthing. Now, one of my greatest fears, and I really hope don't nobody come bam and knocking on my door, but I'm going to say this. Remember the Atlanta, Georgia murders?
Yeah, in the 70s. When it was.
Remember Dick Gregory and our Honorable Minister Farrakhan talked about why they're killing these young kids at the age, kids start getting missing at age 12, boys. And one of Dick Gregory's analysis was the organs and their sperm.
Yeah. Organ harvest. We're watching it in Cleveland right now.
Can somebody remember one of the greatest fight that Emmett Till's mother said was what? Don't touch my child till I see my child.
Exactly.
Don't do no autopsies. Don't cut on my child. I want to see my child the way it is. Now a mother, a child gets killed, and a mother can't even see their child. Can't touch their child. Can you imagine if something happened to your child, and you can't see your child till they get finished doing whatever they want to do with them? And then you don't see your child till it's time to put it in the casket? I mean, if y'all can imagine all the cases that come to Parent Watch from all over, just different. I've had parents call me from different places and say that their child came home all cut up. I had one case that the mother called me and said that when she did the second autopsy, that a cell phone was in her son's body.
I believe it.
What are we going to do? Now I'm going to call on our Black lawyers, our Black judges, our Black prosecutors, because laws can be changed, and mandates can be changed, and regulations can be changed. You tell me you can work 9 to 5. I don't care. Get your job. I know you got to pay your rent. But why isn't there a movement to ensure that families, especially the dark and brown communities, can see their child, touch their child before the body become cold?
Well, that goes back to, I tell youngsters, don't put donor on your license because they'll let you lie. They'll let you die. And I've seen it. You know what I mean? And it's very much that I mean, like, again, what we got going on in Cleveland. There is over 50 young kids missing in Cleveland in 2023, right now as we speak.
You know, a lot of Marvin Gaye songs.
DC.
No, just beginning with "Wake Up Everybody, No More Sleeping in Bed," and even his song about "Save the Children." If you listen to the lyrics of his songs, it's happening again. What are we going to do different? And I keep saying it's not a color thing. If my white brother and sisters are going to stand beside me and fight for righteousness, we on the same page. If a black judge going to learn the law and practice justice, we on the same page. This is not no color thing. This is not no hate conversation. I want to know what we're going to do to save the lives of a community that you know and they know is dying. It's another verse of a song that I just remember this part that always stick to me, where it says, "We need a word from you. We need to hear from you. Children are dying. People are crying. They lost without you." What are we going to do? And then it's a part that says, if we turn from all our wicked ways, then we'll hear from the higher self. We can talk about Lumumba. We can talk about all the freedom fighters in the world. But we can also look at the destruction of how they tried to kill something that teaches us to love one another. Isn't that sad? And that's what we need to think about. What's so painful and destructive that they don't want us to have nobody that can help save us? Whether they're white, purple, orange, green, Santa Claus, Mary Poppins, I don't care. Martin said, if you can just help me or help someone along the way. And some of the livelihood of life is basic. It's basic. I've taken my coat off, driving by and see somebody outside cold. Because I can't understand what kind of world we live in that we do that.
So you said the village approach. Can you kind of give a
The
description?
village approach is right here, right now. The village approach is when you talked about one flag. The village approach is anyone and anybody that wants a world that can live. Just live. Live. I'm not trying to call nobody out. I'm not trying to point no fingers. I'm saying something is wrong, Mr. Dominique.
Wow.
That black children down to the age of 9 are being handcuffed, incarcerated, carjacking. And seeing when I'm talking about it, I'm not calling them that. I'm trying to figure out, I ain't gonna try to figure what is the root cause of the manifestation of why they used the gun. What is the manifestation that we got little babies out on the streets sleeping on benches, homeless? Those are the questions we need to be asking instead of me sitting here saying, oh, that mother trifling. all that mother on drugs, all that boy, he shot that boy and he had a monitor on him. He in the system, how in the world? And then the new thing is, why are you letting him out of prison? But why are you penalizing our kids starting all the way in daycare? We got little kids 2 years old being expelled, suspended, expulsion, special ed that leads to a prison pipeline. We better pay attention. We better pay attention to misdiagnosis. And we need to start having liberated psychologists, liberated counselors, liberated teachers. That doesn't mean that you are a panther. That doesn't mean that you are, what do they call it, to the left, to the right. That's called human skills. Human skills to want a child to live a better life. And instead of you embracing that mother that has 5 children, you rather ridicule her. Put her in rooms with 5 and 6 and 7 different agencies to come up with one plan. A place to live, food on the table, workforce development, teaching her self-advocacy to self-sustainability. How is that criminalizing? But no, I be in meetings all day long. All they do is talk about the mother this, did she smell like weed? Did you see how she looked? But you that have the resources have the same problems in your house. Your children are bad. Your children stealing your credit cards, wrecking your cars, stealing your money. Because I worked part-time at Neiman Marcus, and them kids used to come up there with their mother's checkbook, credit cards, and everything. But they call the police for hours. They call their parents, and their parents come pick them up.
So they go say with loss prevention. That's right. Wait for the kids.
They call them loss prevention, mental health, autism. Somebody touched them when they was a little kid, but our kids still bad as I don't know what. I know we followed the curfew thing about 10, 12 years ago. And we had a caravan. We had college kids, white, black kids. We used to go out between 8 o'clock at night. We had a caravan. We had snacks and goodies. And we put on what you call them, boom boxes on. We was playing Marvin Gaye and going through the community. And when we saw a kid, we said, it's time to go home. What's going on? It's time to go home. But they rather put them in a police car, transport them. This is the best part. Well, Miss Patterson, when they come to the facility, we have candy, cookies, potato chips, and we have games, but you still then drove them in a police car.
Criminal.
You still then took them through the system. And then you got to talk to CFSA. Then you got to try to find the mother and all these different things. But the child's innocent mind, that baby is birthed into being penalized and going through systems that fail them.
So I got a question. What years, from your infinite knowledge, what years would you say that it changed from that black family village approach to what we kind of got going on now?
This might be a real plain answer. But you know, we lost Dr. Heights. Remember Dr. Heights? The Negro Council of Women. What was her campaign for almost 60-something years? The Black Family Reunion. Has anybody picked up the torch yet?
No.
Huh? Has anybody picked up the torch yet? And as many times as they asked her to change the title of that, she said no. It's our culture. We have to have something to teach our children about what a black family is. She been dead. Have y'all, anybody?
No.
So that's the beginning of a change. That's the beginning of a change. And when we sit in a classroom and we're taught that Africa's still swinging on trees, even to date. And I just went to El Salvador. I saw love. But out in the streets and they M13s, this and that, and this and that. Same thing in our community. We have Africans that come here and say we lazy because they so busy learning the wrong history instead of learning the real history that we came here and built this world. So it's more like we tired. I don't think we lazy. We tired because we keep fighting. And we keep getting people coming, trying to belittle the Black African American. Come on now. I don't have to teach y'all this. You see it.
Yeah, all the time.
I'm not talking to myself. Now, I want you to know that Matula, all of them, they used to tease me because they said I was bougie. They asked me to change my name, woo and all of that. We used to rumble all the time about that. You cuss too much. You this. Go ahead, y'all. Look, long as the person is on time to do whatever the task is, that's all is what you call to be a dependable person or a reliable person.
So, Matula, rising power, man, to the great brother. Just, we can get a quick synopsis and maybe reach out, kind of give them an understanding of who Matula was, just from you as a family member, stating how he was and how he was loved by the family.
I'm not going to say it hurts. It's emotional because, like I said, when you have strong brothers like even y'all that's sitting in this room, can you imagine how a sister feels safe? He taught survival. All of them did. Survival. They taught you survival. You didn't hear the word bees and all of that. You didn't experience being judged. It just, if I run into someone that's a returning citizen and I say, oh, Matulo's my brother, what? And then they start talking about the healing. What he taught them in there about healing. It just appears to me that nothing that is good really dies. You got to be the seed, 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 I got to be the seed. A stranger has to be a seed. And we have to keep living what is good. It's not Matula. We can go on Martin Luther King. We can talk about the next door neighbor. We can talk about the grocery, the man down the street, that if I'm $10 short or I don't have no grocery he give me, he's a hero. If we would get away from being judgmental, if we could get away from criticizing, if we could get away with labeling, if we could just stop and keep human skills alive. Don't you suffer more? Don't you suffer more? Don't you suffer? I know I suffer more. Just wanting to be kind. Don't nobody want you to be kind. People say, oh, you stupid. You girl, I'm trying to tell you. I got some of my girlfriends saying, girl, they said, come on and go so and so and so. You don't call me back. Well, I was with this family. And I don't even begin to say something. And that's when I mean the verbiage has to change. I have to check some of my best friends and say, look, no, that's not what it is. What it is that this very statement that you saying about them, if you go out and work with me one day, out of 10 parents, I bet you can transform one. Because they only looking for the same thing we looking for. Some of us are privileged to have that. I've had kids as young as 11 years old, and they come to the youth center, and we have an office space there. And that whole first floor and that resource center is drenched with pain and hurt and knowledge. My clients have taught me to do this work. I'm serious. I told a little girl, I said, stop talking to me, like, don't cuss. I said, stop chewing the chewing gum, stop popping your gum. She stopped. She said, Miss Patterson, I'm 11. I've been molested by my brothers, my uncles, and go on and on and on. And I'm looking at her with tears in my eyes in that very office that my office is in. And I got transformed because I am not going to be pretentious. I wasn't judgmental, but sometimes I'll be looking at it like I'm mad. Why are you this way? But what I learned from them is they're survivors. Can I survive what she been through and sit in the room and tell me I'm 40, 50, 60 years old, and she tells me, Miss Patterson, this is what's happened to me. So how many clinicians experience that? Really experience that? Instead of writing it down and putting it in a file and then labeling she needs medication and she's mental health. I'm not saying medication might not help, but you haven't really healed the real issue.
So I got another question. In hindsight now, was Miss Dolores Tucker ahead of her time in what she was stating and what she was trying to and for those, again, if y'all are younger through that, and if y'all don't know nothing about that, Dolores Tucker is who went against the whole rap hip hop industry and calling females bitches, hoes, and being accountable and just talking about senseless murders and senseless kills in the rap music. And she caught hell.
Yes, she did.
She was mimicked.
Yes, she was.
But again, in your opinion, I mean, hindsight now, what we see, because I'll be the first, I'll be the first to say, I don't really listen to hip hop music like that. Because one, it doesn't make sense to me. Two, if everybody's doing all this killing, why is there still so many people everywhere around? And three, I'm just gonna be real with you. I meet these entertainers. Nothing, excuse my French, suckers. But I sit back and I'm like, I just kind of chuckle sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, you believe that?
It's a book out. I know all of us have probably read it over and over, The Miseducation of the Black
Man.
But it's still happening. And I see it just sitting in the rooms. I'm in meetings daily. And sometimes what really hurts, I'm going to be very honest, that I'm sitting in a room with people that look like me, but the white people are the ones standing up fighting for us. I don't know if you want to call that the great white hope or whatever it is, but I'm just telling you what I see. So can you imagine every day how I feel? I can be confused, but I'm not confused. So that's why I keep saying to you, you asked me the village approach. Everybody. And what we got to work on is righteousness. And the same thing when I've had many conversations with the criminal justice system, learn the law, practice justice. And a lot of times those systems really think that's a hard thing to do. And it's real simple. Learn the law, practice justice. There's no way in the world that is happening in our criminal justice system. And the reason why, instead of saying the mother ain't this, the father ain't that, and they live in the ghetto and all of which, hey, y'all created what they call public housing.
Mm-hmm.
And they really need to call it, they really jails.
What's up? That's how they built.
They built to prepare you to live in poverty, be a part of the poverty of spirit, and go into systems. A few of us to make it out, and the few of us to make it out, we leave. You know why we doing so bad? The worst thing that happened to us was segregation. When all the rich, thought they was rich, we had all live in the same community. Those resources stayed in that community.
So you mean integration?
Yeah, what did I say?
Segregation.
Don't
Yeah,
go
yes,
help me
ma'am.
out, you know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I love when
nah,
people
nah.
help you out and don't say you're dumb. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But integration. Because I could have been so many times made six figures, so many times have so much money. But God wouldn't let me do it. Many times I wanted to. I ain't gonna lie to you. But God wouldn't let me do it. So this walk I'm doing is not that I choose God, God chose me. And so this feeling that everybody get, and you say passionately known as Mama Joe, is really God. It's really God. And some people, I understand why they don't want to walk the way we walk. Because they don't fund truth. They don't fund organizations that really make a difference. So that's another thing y'all need to do. We need to start calling out these funders. That's what I mean about all our black lawyers. You know, like Marion Barry said, somebody said he was at a club or something, and he looked at the watch and he told a reporter, well, it's after 7, I'm off from work. Y'all can be all that from 9 to 5, but can't y'all dedicate something to transform all this wickedness to some kind of righteousness? You can just leave the courthouse and go to a community, or go down to the court file and look and see how many parents don't have no lawyers, and take that case. You can do one a month, called 365 Justice. By the way, I want to get with y'all about that. I've got a few attorneys and stuff that I can call to help me fight and guide. A lot of stuff I fight on my own. But we need 365. Anybody listening? Anybody's a lawyer? Anybody got a law firm? Please call Dominique Banks and them and join the 365 Justice. A lawyer for every day in the year to help a family that does not have an attorney, that is being railroaded because they don't know how to navigate the criminal justice system. Now, remember call them up.
Man, yes,
You do it as a part-time job. You don't get in trouble after 5. When you off from work after 5, and then go do some real justice work.
It's a real village community.
Now, that's what I'm talking about.
We got a lot of youngsters in here. You know what I mean? I don't call them a young man. I only call them youngsters. Y'all got any questions, anything, man? Feel free.
Oh yeah, no, I'll chime in when I get a question. I didn't even know that we could, but I was just enjoying everything that you've been talking about and just kind of soaking it all in. It's been good to, it's refreshing to hear, people talk about that type of stuff. But I think about it, and we have conversations about it. But there's not too many black voices out here in Seattle that are on that same type of wavelength. They're, even talking about organizing and doing stuff like that. So it's just nice to hear.
I do have a question. Like Corey mentioned earlier, you speak with so much passion and so much strength in your voice. Who was like someone you looked up to growing up? Like, who gave you this idea of like, this is who I want to be in life?
You know what? That's I like that. It's so many, and all of them were black, but Dr. Heights, Shirley Chisholm, Maxine Waters, Dolores Tucker, Frances Cress. Frances Cress.
Wilson.
Frances Cress Love.
Okay, excuse me. Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Lauren Cress Love, her sister. WPFW. I had a nanny for my daughter. when I ran Bring a Parent, and the lady's name was Miss Annie. She couldn't read or write, but she could read. She was so brilliant, so smart. And believe it or not, another place that taught me to be who I am, raising my daughter by myself, I worked part-time at Neiman Marcus for 14 years. That's when I really found out that I wasn't free. That's when I had my first experience of racism, but not just white and black. It was a status of black and white. So I learned a different way of who we are and how we're categorized. But something more powerful I learned was it was different. It's a difference between being rich, wanting to be rich, and born rich.
For sure.
So that's something I learned. So those are some of the things that shaping. The other thing is I really did believe in the white dream, because that's what we were taught in school. And I liked Loretta Young and Jackie, and I still love Jackie O, because she hit that news report on her head, on his head when they tried to mess with her children. So that's power. But I'm just saying, the things that have shaped me was the things that I thought I wanted to be. It wasn't nothing. You know, the white picket fence, the house, white friends, being invited to their parties. I'm talking about younger. I was younger. But when I woke up, I was 21, and I was working with a doctor called Dr. John Dillingham. That's why I say color is not the issue. And he was white. And he worked at the Washington School of Psychiatry. And he ran the Metropolitan Mental Health Skills Center for substance abuse. And he started that Mental Health Skills Center to teach everyday people like us certificate training on how to work with helping people get off of drugs with an organization called RAP Incorporated. So these are the things that shaped me. So I started a program called Pre-Employment Training for First Offender Women. And the first day of work, I had on navy blue stockings, navy blue shoes, because that's the color, the work in, those environments. Navy blue jacket, navy blue skirt. And I walked in with these 8 women, first offenders, ranging from the age of 16, and this was shaped me, really shaped me. And the oldest was 35. And I said, you can't pop no gun in here. And miss, sit up straight. Woo! And we was only giving them $63 stipends. These stipends and these slices of pizza and them sign-in sheets, they getting on my nerves too. We gave them a gift card. But anyway, that crew cussed me out. I had snot running out my nose. I was crying. They cussed me out so bad. But it wasn't the cussing out. It was everything that they were saying to me was true. They say, you up here talking, and again, all them different stories of what they gone through on why they got to where they are. It changed me for a lifetime to who I am today, because I could not survive. One of the young ladies said, Miss Patterson, you giving us $63 a week. She said, I can pull my blouse up and make $63, just flash. I'm steady still crying because they brought me all the way down to the ground. You hear me? They made me feel like I was nothing. You hear me? And not nothing as a bad way. But who am I? I wasn't nothing when they finished telling me their stories. But again, Dr. John Dillingham, a white boy. So I wrote my first proposal. It was called Bring a Parent. And so I said, Dr. Dillingham, I can't do it. He said, yes, you can. He said, let me tell you something. Most people cut and paste their proposals. They ain't even wrote them. They take it from other people's proposals. He said, but we're not going to do that. What I want you to do, I want you to read each sentence, and I want you to write exactly how you feel. And it was called Bring a Parent. And that was my first organization at the age of 23 that I started. But that white boy said to me, he said, I'm a technical writer. He said, but I ain't got no vision. He said, I'm nothing without your content. Even though I'm the technical writer, all I'm doing is edit. So now everybody, now you know why they survey you and have focus groups and evaluate you and data, because the institutions don't know nothing for real. They just got that institutional, intellectual learned privilege. And they take our substance and make something out of it. So when you ask me what, that's what made, because I thought I was something, and a lot of people, that's their problem. They think they something and they ain't nothing. Because if you can walk in all these persons and people that end up in those systems, you probably be a coward to survive some of the things that you try to figure out. Why she on the corner? Why she using drugs? Why that young man doing drugs? When you hear their story, it convicts you and transforms. That's why I'm wondering about, like, all them judges sitting up on the bench. And they hear all these. And I've been in courtrooms where the victim will say, I don't want you to send them to jail. Because they're convicted when they hear the real story. I don't want you to send them to jail. You know, that's why you have so many organizations that fortunately and unfortunately is white run, trying to save our children. Because we run from it. See, I could be humiliated and embarrassed when I hear all these young people that come in and they'll call me upstairs. Miss Patterson, I want to talk to you. You know what they say? Miss Patterson, I don't trust my counselor, but could you go to my mother's house? One of the reasons I was hustling is because I had to help my siblings and them get clothes and food for my mother. But he was smart enough not to tell the social worker, because guess what's going to happen?
Take the kids.
They're going to take the kids, send them to CFSA. Then when our kids get locked up, they take the housing voucher from it. Then when the kid get ready to come home, the mother ain't got no house. But they say systems. Okay? So I hope what I'm saying today transform your heart. And I'm not going to say it's easy, because y'all heard me early on when I said some things that happen to you is a choice. See, I never am broke, and I am never disadvantaged. It's just that all of my investments, I invest in my people. So that's why God takes care of me. And when people like me looking at me and say, oh, what happened to her car? Or why did she move? I ain't moved because I ain't working, couldn't take care of myself. It's because half of them families and them parents that came across my way, I sacrificed and gave to them for them to have a better way. Now, that's what I mean about a village. If we have 15, 20 people like you, 15, 20 people like you, like what you're trying to do and like what I'm trying to do, we wouldn't have poverty. Because really the black community don't have poverty. We got soul. And we really don't need medication. We can play music and dance the devil off us. So all of those things are myths. And so that's the message. That's what we have to change. And when we have this kind of liberated heart, and which is really just human skills, they try to say that we're rioting or we rising up on a movement, because they don't want you to save each other. They don't want you to hold a child's hand and walk them to school. They don't want you to do that. They want you to do just what their conversations are. Oh, Lord, they killing each other. They shooting each other. No, that's not what's happening. If somebody kills my son, Lord, I'm just giving an example. Lord, you know it. I'm just showing you an example of where the retaliation comes from. You don't heal me. I lost my son. You don't heal me. Then you don't give me no real safety. You give me a hotel space for 15 days, then I got to figure out where I'm going the next day. And what is that? Retaliation, 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 hurt, pain. So that's where the violence comes from. Stop blaming us. Stop pointing the finger at our children. And somebody go embrace them and hold these agencies and these educational institutions that will tell you bad in front of the whole classroom. Oh, he's special ed. I mean, I had to go to a school once before to fight, and the principal ended up getting fired because the girl's mother was locked up, and the teacher called it out in the classroom. And the parent called me and told me that the mother said to the student, where are you going to visit your mother at the halfway house? Wow. What do you think does to our children?
Right.
And a parent. It's no bad parent. Every parent wants to take care of their child. So let's create the village. Like what you were talking about. How when I would walk down the street, we used to hide our black and whites in the bushes and get them, back then it was Kenny Capers. Well, one of them tennis shoes. But one day we came back and all our black and whites was gone. And we got in trouble because our mother found out that we was hiding the black and whites and putting on the Kenny Capers. So just a child's mind. How they getting the guns? Who's bringing the guns? Now they got this thing called ghost gun. They're making the guns. Something's wrong, guys. And what I asked the village to find out is not why they're doing it, what we're going to do to help them not to do it. What kind of creativity we're going to create in a community where a child is not hungry and a child goes into a home where there's a whole lot going on. We don't have to talk about it because that's why I keep telling people, change the verbiage. But y'all know what I'm saying. What are we going to do to help change that? That is the violence. That is the manifestation of what is happening to our children.
I got another question because I've thought about this for years. And it's funny. I was at the Million Man March, first time and the second time. And the second time when Farrakhan was like, I'm looking for 10,000 strong men. And I'm sitting there back thinking, like, oh, no, you're not. You're looking for 9,999, bro, because I'm ready to tear this thing up. And it didn't pan out the way. But same spirit that when Tupac Shakur, yes. Because in the 90s, I'm one of those kids. If Tupac would have said, hey, we hitting the White House, it'd have been no questions asked. Hey, Pac said. Who do you feel is going to take on that spirit, or is it gone?
I don't think it's televised or advertised. Seeds don't die. They live on. And so in every movement, as Gil Scott-Heron said, a revolution will not be televised. Because if you look at even their movement and their movement of destroying us, our communities, going all the way back to slavery, they ain't advertising. But look at the movement of the Jews. They still looking for Hitler and them to lock up. They digging them up from graves and making sure they dead. Am I lying?
You ain't never lied.
If they find somebody with a piece of bloodline, they're going to expose them, put the name on the paper, go file a lawsuit. But why is our Holocaust, why is ours different? We don't want a big payback. We just want to survive. That's the sad thing about the black community. We just want to dance, be happy, and live and eat and love on one another. That is our history.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear me? That is our history. We're not, no more bang bangs. We ain't no killers or none of that. Our real history is that we love.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Now am I lying?
No.
So I already asked you, Mr. Dominique, that we put a call out to all of them. Jay-Z, Mary Poppins, Santa Claus, all. I don't care who they are. We're doing a new verbiage. We changing the B to beautiful.
Yes.
We changing the gun to groceries.
Yes.
We changing the drugs to food and clothing. And if y'all can have all them thousands of people to come in one space at one time, would you mind meeting me? Just give me the date. Y'all all meet me there just that one day. Can you imagine how many houses that we can build, or how many apartments that we can build? Or why aren't y'all buying apartment buildings and creating programs to make sure they take care of the building, instead of saying all they gonna do is tear up? What you expect? They ain't never. How you gonna appreciate something you ain't never had? I'm just calling out to y'all. What is it? Halo, all them, Lemon Juice, what all these songs y'all making? Meet me at the bank. How about singing that? Meet me at the bank. Meet me on L Street. We getting ready to buy Murray a house. Meet me at the juvenile detention center. One of the parents need a ride home after they pick the child up. Some of them need a ride to come pick their child up. Oh, and by the way, we need car fare to go to the court date. And by the way, they need money for daycare, and we need places and spaces so when the school system expel our child because they say they're being bad and they're really hungry.
Tell them.
So if we want to talk about the village, that's the village. If we go to the club and Dominique and us say, everybody get a shot. Bring out the champagne. And as soon as before they take the drink down, before you get drunk, right here, here's a bucket, so we can really have a good time. And when we go home, we can go to sleep real good. Can everybody put some money here? Because Sally up the street, she is on drugs. Don't worry about that. But we still got to feed her kids and get her some help. So don't worry about that. Just put the money in the bucket. You'll see the outcome tomorrow, because she'll be clean and the kids will have some clothes on and some shoes, and you'll see us escorting them to school. That's the kind of stuff we got to start doing. We need to start going to those big shows y'all have. Maybe I might do that. I hope y'all feelings don't get hurt.
No.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start every time Beyonce and y'all be having them big shows to raise $1 million. I'm going to get tents and tell all the people that are struggling, be out front. And we have fake tickets. Say, here's the real show. Can you come to this show? Well, what kind of show is this? She need a place to live. He don't have no shoes. Can you put your money over here for a minute? Then go on in there. I promise y'all have a good time. We got to start convicting people. Now, I know they donate, but they donate through privileged institutions. And it don't get down to the ground. They invest in data. They invest in evaluations and research. Could somebody please, son, how old are you?
23.
23. And I'm 73, and they've been researching, and I don't see a difference yet. You?
No.
You?
No.
So y'all better stop going for the ride. I don't know who listening. I'm just saying, y'all. Everybody start them. That's the movement you need to start, okay? Oh, and grocery stores. You said you spent $300,000 for security. Why don't you take and get $300,000 worth of gift cards, and when they come in the store, give them that and get the grocery? Then you ain't got to pay for security.
Come on.
How about that? That's what one of the grocery stores told me. We're losing money because we got to have security. I said, well, they ain't robbing you. They hungry. Makes sense to me. Buy $300,000 worth of gift cards. Passing out.
Makes sense.
Make a lot of sense. Because you invested in the people that's hungry, that's stealing the food. That's not stealing the food, borrowing the food.
Well, the cold part to that is they gonna if they were stealing, hey, we not stealing from them. They look out. Let's go steal from this other store that don't.
But the majority of these institutions that are grocery stores, they got their wealth off the disparity of poor people. So I don't call it stealing. I think they need to reinvest. And I don't mean with no gift cards and once a year party and a cookout. I'm saying, to me, it makes sense to get $300,000 worth of gift cards and give it to the community than to pay $300,000 worth of security. I guarantee you won't have need security no more.
Before, because when Kendra give me that look, it's like, okay, y'all.
No, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. So, because you are so beautiful and you speak so much life and love into everybody, and they call you Mama Joe because you have all these adopted children who come to you, and you are just a force that can move for them when they feel like they can't move for themselves. And eventually, you already shared your age. Eventually, somebody's going to have to take that torch, right? But my question for you is, and the reason why I'm asking this is because somebody is going to have to take the torch. How do you take care of yourself so that way you have that life and that love and that energy to get up out of the bed? Because I talked to you every day this week, and every day this week you were at another organization until late at night. Barely had time to take a bath and get in the bed. Barely. And so how do you do it so that you can encourage the person who's going to take on the torch after you?
The first thing is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The second thing, there are a lot of little Joes out there. A whole lot. That's why I got so many adopted families and children. And they are doing marvelous things. I could just call out so many names.
Yeah.
You know, Sharice Crawford, India Blocker. I mean, it's just so many. I mean, so many. So that's the torch. Mm-hmm. But to carry out the banner of Parent Watch, it's one person that I met that I think that she really could do it. And her name is Elizabeth Reddick. But she's not scared. Because whoever takes on Parent Watch does not belong to Joe Patterson. Parent Watch is successful because I give the ownership to the community. I give the ownership to the mothers. And I give the ownership to truth. And there's a myth where some of my friends be saying, you don't this and you don't have that and you this. And I'm serious. Girl, you crazy. You know, you don't know how many jobs I've been offered. And I ain't gonna lie, I be wanting them, but God, I go to bed, he be saying, you know better. You know you ain't, All it's gonna do is constrain you. You're gonna be constipated. You're gonna be sick every day. You ain't gonna like nobody. You're gonna tell somebody to offer that job and you're gonna be fired. What's the purpose? So the help, so everybody know, when I go home, you know, you hear the old saying from our grandparents, the shower. I cry out in the shower. When I tell you, I cry to Jesus daily, day and night. And I believe he's my husband because I've been praying when my husband passed 2015. But all through my walk, I used to collect engagement rings because most of the time I couldn't end up getting married because people want to control the spirit of God that is in me. They think it's something else, but Jesus. And that when I can go to bed at night, knowing when I see Dominic with a tear in his eye, I feel good. When I see Corey, 9 years old, when I see these brothers in here, and you're my brother too, and how they're intense because of what? It's not that you Dominique Banks and all of this. It's not that I'm Mama Joe and all that. It is the substance of truth that everybody, even if they ain't no good, want to hear. People live off of truth. They survive, because I probably could get me I probably could get a young boy for my boyfriend. I look good as shit. And I'm fly.
Yes, ma'am. I seen you in high heels and we was shocked.
3 inches. And dance. Because of what you just said. I want everyone to know that's my healing. I want everyone to know that I break down. I always let people know. I mean, I never forget when I say I've never been homeless, thank God, but I have been displaced. Multiple times, but multiple times he lifted me up again. And so multiple times I still do the same thing. Even at my awards, one of the guys got up and said, she pulled up on me and gave me $200. I thought it was my last $200. But when you got Jesus, when you got Jesus, you feel like millions of dollars.
Yes.
And when you can walk in a room with all them old fake, bougie people and own the room, not because of vanity, not because of what I have on, but what's inside of me.
Man, we're not gonna hold you too much longer, Mama Joe, because we be talking your ear off. And hopefully, we'll get a second interview maybe tomorrow.
Then we can organize
Yeah.
the brothers. I want Shaka. I want to reach out to Asantawa and them. I think it's so, because it will give you hope, because they're young, and when you ask the question, who's carrying the torch? It's not dead. He's carrying it. Corey's turn. Look at him sitting here. Look at y'all sitting here. It's not dead. It's not dead, and it's never going to die. They've been trying to kill us for how long? Shoot, that's why that African museum, I can't go in the basement, because when I go in the basement, shoot, they ought to be glad that should be some real reason.
Trips you up.
I got sick, and I didn't know it, but they have people in different rooms that can see the condition of
What you're going through
and they
at the
came
time.
out and they got me because I could not handle it. And I believe that most of our children need to see that, because the thing that they wore around their neck, that's how I got sick. When I saw that, I got sick. And even today, if you see an old lady with a cane and carrying her grocery bag, that should make me feel bad. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the things that should bring life back into you. How you gonna be tired? And you see that old lady, and a long time ago they would let you give them a ride. Now you can't
even help them
because they rob the old lady, take her Medicaid, everything.
Can't help them put the groceries up. Can't, and it's understandable. Before we finish this, and because you brought up something, and I just want to share a point, with my young brothers out here, because you are somebody's mom, you're somebody's auntie, and not to elaborate, it's like, man, shit, I've been shot. I got hit 10 times one sitting. I got hit 2 times in the back before then. I've been to millions of funerals. what made me kind of slow down, because of course we all get mad, but what made me kind of slow down and just say, man, I can't pop no more brothers, was going to funerals and looking at my homies or other homies' mothers cry.
Lord.
To this, it's like, and I try to tell youngsters, like, bro, until you go to a funeral and look at somebody else's mama crying, and when I got shot, I remember sitting there and my family looking at me. It's like you just sit back and you just try to find, because I got one brother he just came home from the feds, he did 14. I got another brother, you know what I'm saying, he did 8. And a lot of times, man, I just sit back and I'm like, if these youngsters could only see, because after you pop them, you're going to the pen. If you ain't got no hands, you're going to be washing my drawers.
That's right.
Because I'm going to put a jujitsu move on you. I know how to fight in the 8x5. So if you ain't never been through that, if you don't know how to make a shank, if you don't know how to break down the steel, if you ain't got no hands, don't pick up no burner and pop nobody. Because if you do, man, we waiting. And then you know what's going on in California right now.
That's right.
So if you black and you in California, everybody's against you. The Hispanics is moving, the others, the Samoan, everybody's against you. The white, but everybody's against you. So if you ain't got no hands, that's it. It's just curtains. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna be, you're gonna be washing somebody's drawers, or you just ain't gonna make it. You gonna end up on drugs like a lot of cats, or end up killing yourself. And that's just what happens. So before we end this episode, I just want to say that to all my brothers out there, like, hey, man, just don't let your 30 seconds of emotions, man, have you someplace where your family is going, because it's nothing disgraceful than watching a family, send their family away. And it hurts too. One's dead, and here goes this young man or young woman that just threw their life away for the rest of their life. And my prayer to anyone, but my brothers that are sitting here, because some I've invited, and I was like, man, please through, because I see the God in you. I see that these are the people that can help me in Seattle, or help me in LA, or help me in DC. So I try to send out invites and be like, hey, bro, come, man, you know what I mean? Because if you sitting here, it's because I believe in you. And I believe it's something in you that I can relate to you, and I'm going to do everything I can in my ability to help you in any way that you want. And my only request is you do that for the same people.
That's right.
Because Mama Joe's here, because she touched me. She said something about you. And I can just feel the spirit. So when I'm around her, this is my ancestor. You know what I'm saying? So it put tears in my eyes. Not because of the wrong that I did, but am I doing enough? Because one day she's going to go on to the maker. And are we going to keep her legacy going? So I challenge anybody, man, especially out here in Seattle, because it hurts me. I'm raising a son.
That's right. Yes, you got a son. That's right.
And I watch y'all brother. Y'all brothers is smart. Like, one thing about Seattle, man, y'all some smart brothers. Y'all some game spitters. Great conversation, man. You know what I'm saying? Your vernacular is out this world. Y'all just don't know. Y'all talk like white folks. No, y'all talk like your vernacular is out this world. I met some of the most intelligent brothers in Seattle. But I've also watched heartbreaks. Because y'all related. Some way, form, or fashion.
That's right.
Y'all is related out
All
here.
related.
So it again, I'm trying to do this shit in LA, and it's not easy. And I get pushback from my homies. I get pushback from the status quo of what it been. But again, I invited Mama Joe up, man, out here. And I wanted her to show her, man, it's black folks out here in Seattle. And we intelligent, and we making our moves, and we creating, and we starting our own stuff. And I feel like we can be the prototype that these other cities can use.
That's right.
Honest to God. So, man, you know what I mean? I just want to go ahead. I want to thank, man, you know what I'm saying, Mama Joe for coming in from all the way from DC. Lonnie, of course, he was quiet on me and stuff. Like, I didn't even give him a chance to talk.
I was
man.
doing a whole lot of learning.
We got
That's what I
Tudor,
was doing.
man. Oh, Mama's, man. You know, man, big producer out here. Lonnie, man, go look out for his music, go stream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Blessed to be here and be a fly on the wall. I'm just soaking it all up like a sponge. You know, it's nice. Just be in your presence and listen to the type of conversation.
Thank you.
Something that I want to be around, or something that I want to surround myself around more often.
Oh,
I
man.
actually got a lot of family out in Maryland.
Oh, great.
Very often.
What's the last name?
My last name is Trahan.
Trayon?
Trahan.
Trahan. T-R-I.
Trahan.
Oh, okay.
My family that's out in Maryland, their last name is Hall.
Okay, so we know a lot of
Out in
homes.
Annapolis.
Okay. Yeah, I got a lot of family in B-more.
Yep.
And Cherry Hills, all through East Baltimore, West Baltimore, DC too. So, you know what I mean?
All over Maryland.
Come
Southern
on,
Maryland,
man.
Clinton.
But nah, man, this is the blessing. Again, man, I want to thank Mama Joe for blessing us. I want to
Y'all
thank
bless
DC
me.
for letting her come. Because like I said, I went through a lot to get her. And she's loved. So it was some real street figures that was like, hey, say, Nick, don't let nothing happen, brother. Oh,
A
Mama.
lot of
So,
politicking before she
man,
came
a
out.
lot of politicking, man. You know what I'm saying? I
Because
want to
Bilal called and Kokai. We'll do them. We'll do them tomorrow. Bilal is the one that wrote Johannesburg, and he sings with Gil Scott Heron, and he was in the movement too. And both of them called back. So what we can do is arrange that. Now that's going to be the real answers
that's, man,
to
those
the
questions.
Matulo.
I
They
got
got the real answers.
Well, Mama Joe, I'm going to let you go ahead and end this
Yes, sir.
episode and with some words of encouragement.
What I would like to end with is straight ahead, no resistance. And I want everyone to know, too, that this is not a color thing, it's a heart thing. And that anybody that has the capacity that wants to do what is right for themselves and for those who are around them, and love thy neighbor like they love themselves. And forgiveness is one of the most powerful things in the world. And so we just need to hear from y'all, and y'all need to reach back out to this organization, the Spot SoDo. I was trying to figure out what SoDo, but I found out we in SoDo.
Yes, ma'am.
I was like, maybe that S means something, maybe that. But reach out to Spot SoDo, and let's have a love train, a love 747, a love jet, a boat, however way you want to get there. Let's create the village of not hope, but let's do something. Yeah, that's all I want us to do is do something, even if it's a small thing. You know, you be in the grocery store, tell moms, put that money back in your pocket. I'm going to pay for it. Small things. Small things. Small things. Anyway, I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. And we're going to have some other family, extended family members to join us.